Every now and then our favorite cartoon universes collide and do a crossover episode. Sometimes the results are awful, but every once in a while the crossover works and the two series fit together well. I'm your host as always, K-Mac Time, and today we're going to take a look at my top 5 favorite crossover episodes of all time. Now, before I start, I'd like to take a second to remind you all that this is just my own personal opinion. If you guys disagree, that's perfectly acceptable. Just be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts down below and let me know what you thought should have been done differently or what should have been on the list. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in with number 5. Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. This was actually a crossover movie that was released back in 1987, and it was done to revive some of the older characters from the 70s, and it does a great job of it. The plot is extremely solid. Elroy invents a time machine and accidentally sends the Jetsons back to the Stone Age where they meet the Flintstones. In doing so, the two families learn to work together and become quick friends in the process. But when Elroy fixes the machine to get the family back to the future, they flip the script and accidentally send the Flintstones to the future instead. This twist was extremely well executed and it really thickened the plot. The crossover resulted in a reemergence of the Jetsons and the Flintstones as they both got their own series and future movies coming down the road. And it was all thanks to this crossover that put these series back in the limelight. Number 4 goes to The Simpson Guy, which is two of Fox's most popular and longest running shows, and they finally collided back in 2014. When the Griffins stumble into Springfield for gas and get their car stolen, none other than Homer Simpson is there to rescue them. The different members of the family start to hang out and it leads to some incredibly funny moments. My favorite of which being when Bart and Stewie make prank phone calls and when Homer and Peter's epic chicken style fight throughout the city. This crossover wasn't by any means perfect and many people didn't care for it, but I feel it did a great job of bringing these two juggernauts of animation together, and it was a long time coming. Coming in number 3 is The Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door, which released back in 2007. And these were two of my favorite cartoons growing up, so when I first heard about this, I was extremely excited for it. The universe seems so drastically different, but that's what makes the crossover great. They even sneak in a cameo from Ed, Edd and Eddy, which I absolutely loved. In the episode, Billy is taken to Sector 5 to fix his dad's lucky pants, which he ripped with Grimm's scythe. Of course, the delightful children from down the lane crash the party and Mandy steps in to lead the K&D to defeat them. This is a great example of how to bring two universes that are completely polar opposites together and make them mesh and make them fit perfectly. It made for an absolutely great crossover.
Whatever you're doing, we'll have to wait.
In my runner-up spot is the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour specials. I loved this so much as a kid, and they actually released 3 hour-long movies between 2004 and 2006. The way they flipped the animation styles of the characters was super cool. And I actually got a chance to talk to Fairly Odd Parents creator Butch Hartman about these episodes, and he said it was one of his favorite episodes to ever develop. It is not often that a crossover goes over so well that they make not 1, but 2 more episodes, and they're all an hour long. They even got their own DVD releases later in the future. For sure, this is a worthy spot of our runner-up. Great crossover series. And finally, my number 1 favorite crossover episode ever goes to Bravo Dooby Doo. This episode is insanely funny from start to finish. And it's all started when Johnny's car broke down and the Mystery Machine pulled over and gave him a lift. The gang asked where he was going and he told them they was going to see his Aunt Jebediah in her haunted mansion. Of course, the gang then had to investigate. I always loved Johnny Bravo's slightly womanizing ways, and it fits so well with Daphne and Velma and the rest of the crew. Eventually, the gang catches the ghostly gardener, and it's revealed that it is actually Aunt Jebediah, who is trying to scare off Johnny because he is an embarrassment to the family name. I mean, this had it all. It was super funny. One of my favorites when I first saw this. It came out in 1997, believe it or not, all the way back then. But the Scooby Doo gang and the Johnny Bravo, just never thought you'd see those universes collide. It's a perfect example of when two universes collide. It comes out with extremely funny. I mean, the crossover is done perfectly. They poke fun at both shows. I mean, they're saying things like Jinkies, is that a breakfast cereal? You know, they're making pokes like that, and he's hitting on Daphne the whole time. It's absolutely great. Loved it. My favorite of all time. But that's all we have time for this time, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more countdowns like this in your sub box weekly. Also, like I said, leave a comment with your favorite crossover episodes down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. But until next time, guys, remember, it's always came back time somewhere, so take it easy and peace out.